Episode 3, God's Love Heals. Why the Father Restores Us. Welcome back to From Survival to Purpose. Today we're talking about healing. Not just physical healing. Not just emotional healing. Not just healing from grief, disappointment, betrayal, or broken dreams. We're talking about the heart behind healing. Why does God heal? What moves him to restore what has been broken? What does Scripture reveal about the Father's desire to make us whole? Many people know God is powerful enough to heal. The question is, does he want to? Today's message is called God's Love Heals. Why the Father Restores Us. Healing begins with love, not power. When most people think about healing, they think about miracles. They think about power. They think about signs and wonders. And while God's power is certainly involved in healing, healing begins somewhere even deeper. It begins with love. God does not heal to impress us. He does not heal to prove his authority. He does not heal to win an argument. He heals because he loves. Every act of restoration flows from the heart of a loving Father. Psalm 103:8 tells us, the Lord is compassionate and gracious, slow to anger, abounding in love. Notice that compassion comes before power. Love comes before miracles. The Father's heart has always been to restore what sin, pain, and brokenness have damaged. The heart of a loving father. Think about a loving parent. When their child is hurting, something inside them responds, not because they are obligated, but because love moves them. The same is true with God. Throughout Scripture, we see a Father who notices suffering, a Father who hears cries, a Father who moves toward broken people instead of away from them. God is not uncomfortable with your wounds. He is not intimidated by your pain. He is not exhausted by your struggles. He is drawn to them. Why? Because love always moves toward restoration. Jesus reveals the Father's healing heart. One of the clearest pictures we have of God's character is Jesus. Jesus said in John 14:9, anyone who has seen me has seen the Father. That means when we look at Jesus, we see exactly what the Father is like. And what do we find Jesus doing? Healing, restoring, touching, lepers, opening, blind eyes, strengthening, weak bodies, comforting, grieving hearts, revealing, sinners. Jesus constantly moved toward people who were hurting. He didn't avoid them. He welcomed them. He revealed a God who cares deeply about the condition of his children. Every miracle Jesus performed was a glimpse into the heart of the Father. Healing beyond the physical. Sometimes, when we hear the word healing, we immediately think of sickness. But healing is bigger than that. God heals broken hearts. He heals wounded emotions. He heals damaged relationships. He heals shame. He heals fear. He heals disappointment. Many people are physically healthy, but emotionally wounded. Others appear strong on the outside, while carrying deep pain within. The beautiful thing about God is that he knows how to heal every layer of a person's life. Nothing is hidden from him. Nothing is beyond his ability to restore. When healing doesn't come immediately, this is often the hardest part of the conversation. Because sometimes healing happens instantly. Sometimes a breakthrough comes overnight. Sometimes prayers are answered in ways that leave no doubt God intervened. But sometimes healing takes time. Sometimes healing comes through doctors. Sometimes it comes through counseling. Sometimes it comes through wisdom, community, and process. Sometimes God heals one layer at a time. And during those seasons, we may begin asking difficult questions. Why hasn't it happened yet? Has God forgotten me? Does He still care? The answer remains the same. His love has not changed. Even when healing delays, love stays. The timeline may be different than we expected, but the Father's heart remains constant. The cross and our healing. Isaiah 53:5 declares, by His wounds we are healed.